Hey everyone, I'm Violet Kanyan with Jason Riley and David Brickley for STNTV. Let's talk about NBA's MVP. The NBA MVP race is on and the debates are heated. We have Kobe Bryant, Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, Tony Parker, and yes, even LeBron James. Guys, what's the deal? Which one of these guys has something the rest don't? Jason, who's your MVP?
Well, my MVP is kind of the obvious choice, kind of the easy choice, but it's also in my mind the only choice for MVP, and that's Kevin Durant. We know Kevin Durant won the scoring title, very impressive, but the fact that he did it while shooting 50% from the floor, even more impressive to me. Also, you look at a guy like Russell Westbrook, who's stirred waves in the past. He's been a little bit of a problem. Kevin Durant, as the leader of that team, has been able to manage Russell Westbrook's ego. Manage his ego, and he also led the Oklahoma City Thunder to the third best record in the NBA. You could make the argument that Kevin Durant's the best player in the NBA, but for this season, he's definitely the most valuable player.
We're going to get into that whole comment you just said about Russell Westbrook in a second.
Can't wait.
I will say my MVP is obviously CP3 in Los Angeles. Coming to the Clippers, changing the entire dynamic of that franchise, averaging 20 and 9. He made DeAndre, he made Blake, he made Butler, he made all these guys better. And I'm telling you what, 34 seasons, the Clippers have only finished over 500 twice.
Right.
And Chris Paul has came in and changed the entire. They're talking about Lob City now. People actually are Clipper fans. They're jumping on the bandwagon all because of Chris Paul. You take Chris Paul off that roster, they may not even make the playoffs. That's my most valuable player.
They may not even make the playoffs.
They won 32 games last year in an 82 game season.
They brought in Chauncey Billups. We're forgetting about Chauncey Billups. They brought him in.
They
brought in Mo Williams, who would be a starter on so many other teams. And are we really picking an MVP based on a team's past? I mean, sure, the Clippers have been terrible forever, and they'll probably be terrible even going forward into the future. But the fact that they were terrible, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, has nothing to do with the MVP this season.
This is how I take my MVP. This is my criteria. So listen up. If you take Kevin Durant off the Oklahoma City Thunder, obviously they're not as good as a team. They're probably still going to compete for a playoff spot. Take Chris Paul off that Clipper team. They're not in the playoffs.
I completely disagree.
They're not in the playoffs.
You're saying the LA Clippers, just without Chris Paul, with all those other guys, can't make the playoffs, can't make the top 8 in the West?
I don't think they could.
They
didn't do it last year.
You're out of your mind.
Did they do it last year?
They did not do it last year.
And
but they also brought in Chauncey Billups.
Let me tell you why you're absolutely clinically insane. You said that Kevin Durant managed Russell Westbrook's ego?
Kevin Durant
Are you
is
out
the
of your
leader.
mind?
Kevin Durant
Russell
is the
Westbrook
leader.
shot 30 shots a game whenever he wanted. He would pull up.
Has Russell Westbrook distracted from the success of the Oklahoma City Thunder? The answer, let me answer it for you, Brickley, because let me just listen here.
Right.
No, he is not. And the reason for that is because Kevin Durant made the leap from leading by example to vocally leading. He led that team and managed that team, and that's why Russell Westbrook did not cause problems like he has in the past.
First and foremost, you need to lower your voice when you're talking to me. Second of all, Russell Westbrook has played the same game he's played the last couple of years. People say the reason the Oklahoma City Thunder have not gone all the way is because Russell Westbrook doesn't know to give the ball to the alpha male, the guy that's a clutch, and that is Kevin Durant.
Who's been getting the ball late in games? Who's been hitting game winners this season?
I'm not going to argue with you. Kevin Durant is not an MVP candidate, but don't give me this song and dance about Russell Westbrook.
I'm going to argue that Chris Paul is not a top 5 candidate.
Wow.
Would you put Chris Paul as a top 5 player in the NBA overall?
Violet, I'm done with him. That's it.
We heard what they have to say. Now let's hear what you have to say. Leave a comment below, like, and subscribe. For Jason Riley and David Brickley, I'm Violet Kanyan.